Do you love Legos or puzzles when you were a kid? How about cars? Or do you love both? If you do, then you might have already subscribed to the channel that we will feature today. The B is for Build. But before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell on so you don't miss any of the new videos we upload. Without any further delay, here is B for Build, Net Worth Lifestyle, and Bio. How it all started. B is for Build is a US-based YouTube channel established in 2015 and presented by Chris Steinbacher, a software engineer who has a passion for cars. B is for Build got things started with some work in Chris's backyard, as the channel aims to live the built, not bought phase, which refers to the process of creating anything from scratch. The team decided to expand and find a new place. They needed a bigger place where they could freely walk around while working on the cars. And just like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, when they were starting their business, Chris and his team began renting a garage in another part of Portland to continue building challenging project cars. In addition to the challenging projects that are often regarded as unachievable, the channel is also known for performing controversial builds that are generally considered highly impossible. After being laid off in January 2017, Chris decided to pursue a full-time career as a YouTuber. Chris took advantage of the chance to devote his full attention to the YouTube channel. But with a little bit of cash, Chris needs to justify his lifestyle to sustain the channel completely. Out of left field lifestyle. Chris has taken a 180-degree turn since leaving his job in 2017. From a happy-go-lucky senior software engineer working a 9-to-5 job at a software firm, Chris transitioned to a full-time YouTuber who built cars. Chris starts to be more careful with money. From spending cash for drinks and parties, Chris starts saving for a bold and one-of-a-kind builds, which his channel is pretty known of. And on February 27, 2018, Chris again made a daring move when they released the I'm Building a Shop video, where Chris stated that his landlord planned to sell the home and the garage where they built their project cars. Chris wants to purchase the property. However, when Chris went to the bank to sign the papers, he ran into some challenges. First, after he was laid off as a software engineer, Chris became a full-time YouTuber. This means that he doesn't have a solid employment history, which is one of the bank's requirements. The bank cannot loan him any amount nor allow him to purchase a property through them without it. That's one of their primary requirements. Second, the B is for Build's 2017 tax return shows that they only made $8,000. This means that Chris's funds were a little bit short. So, did the bank let him sign the papers? If you've been following their channel, you will know that Chris is more of a risk taker and a problem solver kind of man, and he does not let go of the things that he wants quickly. So he calls his parents for some help. His amazing parents, who saw his hard work and capabilities, loaned him some cash and co-signed the papers needed to transfer the property's ownership to Chris. That's a tick off from his bucket list. And another one happened on November 14, 2019, following the SEMA 2019. The B for Build aired The Happily Ever After, the BIFB engagement. Yes, you heard it right. Our man already popped the question. Though we get frequent glimpses of Chris's personal life, Chris talks about his relationship in detail in the Happily Ever After episode. Chris and Chelsea have been dating since before B is for Build premiered in 2015, and Chelsea can be seen in several episodes assisting Chris and their friends. But how did they really meet? Chris met Chelsea around 2014 at a restaurant while she was working as a server while getting her master's in teaching, while Chris was a software engineer working in one of those buildings near the restaurant where Chelsea was working. Destiny did his part very well. Imagine Chris, being a busy man who was just going to the restaurant for his lunch, accidentally meeting the woman who will be spending the rest of his life with. Who would have ever thought of that? If you haven't met your significant other yet, you should start eating at a restaurant. Kidding aside, just like any other relationship, Chris and Chelsea had their fair share of ups and downs. But instead of breaking them, these roller coaster rides strengthened and progress their relationship. They are each other's ultimate support. Going back to their engagement, when Chris was preparing for the proposal, he decided to buy a personalized ring for Chelsea. He purchased a 3.6-carat ring and was hopeful that Chelsea would sign up for the rest of the ride. What makes it more special is Chris designed and built the ring. Since it is a personalized ring, it's a little bit pricey. In one of their videos, Chris compared the ring's price to the 30-year-old Italian yacht that he purchased in July 2019. We don't know what he was thinking back then, why he wanted to own a yacht, but whether he planned to transition in building and to fix boats, he just wanted to own a boat. The "I bought a 30-year-old Italian yacht and I'm going to fix it up" episode garnered a whopping 6 million views on YouTube alone. That's additional cash for Chris and his team. And becoming Chris and Chelsea are both huge fans of Disneyland. Chris proposed to her at Disneyland's Las Vegas Jungle Cruise ride. It was not grand as what he had initially planned, but indeed it was monumental for both of them. Everything was smooth sailing until B for Build made a noise again in 2020. They lost a copyright battle for Chris's dream Mustang builds. If you are a fan of Project Cars and Mustangs, you might have seen Chris's dream car, the iconic Eleanor from the 2000 film Gone in 60 Seconds. Chris was starting to build it through a 2015 Ford Mustang GT that was transformed into the ideal Eleanor-shaped car. But Chris's inability to get a license to the copyright and trademark for the Eleanor is where it all started. He then gave an update on his YouTube account, B for Build. He said that the Mustang has been confiscated and that all recordings of the project had been deleted. Unfortunately, because of the present legal situation, Chris cannot provide further information on the sequence of events. Chris and the rest of the team definitely had some storm and stress in 2020, but this did not stop them from building more top-notch cars. And on December's 2020 Christmas special episode, Chris and his friends secretly worked on Chelsea's dream vehicle. Chris bought the SUV for under $5,000 with a couple of issues and damages, but with his and his team's skills, they were able to transform the SUV beautifully like a brand new car. They ended 2020 with a bang, but 2021 welcomed them with more than that. On August 2021, Chris revealed some shocking news, one of those about his health. He had a biopsy, and it seemed that he had melanoma cancer. But instead of feeling down and hopeless, Chris used his platform to inspire and remind everyone to prioritize their health. After 2 months, Chris had surgery to remove his cancer. And instead of resting, Chris continued working on building cars. Some of his notable builds include BRZ. The first car that was featured in their channel was a wrecked Subaru BRZ that they attempted to repair. Lotus Evora. In a 2016 video, B for Build, Lotus Evora Unveil, Chris introduces the 2014 Lotus Evora that was deemed impossible to repair as it had suffered significant damage after its rollover accident. People started questioning his capabilities, but Chris restored the vehicle and used it regularly. Datsun 240Z. This drew a lot of attention to the channel once again, as people believed it was impossible to build the Datsun 240Z, but the build was successful. Chris was able to successfully merge a large portion of the E60 BMW M5 and the Datsun 240Z. The build was even shown in the Cohen wheel booth at the SEMA 2018 to demonstrate his capabilities. Because of the channel's bold move to buy, fix, build, and merge cars with significant damages, B for Build attracted 1.51 million subscribers on YouTube. B is for Build net worth. And if you're wondering how much the channel's net worth is, B for Build's forecasted net worth is around $417,000 from YouTube advertising revenue alone. If we will add its yearly earnings of $90,000 to $110,000, B for Build's net worth will definitely be more around $500,000. Always know, though, that the channel's net worth didn't magically happen overnight. The channel had a considerable amount of bumps along the way, but it was their determination and perseverance over the years that brought them to the top. The B for Build channel has taught us how to be a risk taker and shows us that possibilities have no boundaries.